episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live from Black Pearl Studios. Yes, that's how we do it. You know, ownership is real. That means you can do what you want, how you want, when you want. But you know me, I love Democrats. I turn left. I want to do everything I can to make sure that we are ready for 2019 municipal races by bringing you the people who are trying to make changes all over our state in 92 counties. Yo, you know I gotta share. Man, the YDA convention, oh my goodness. What a wonderful event. I can't even name everybody that was on the planning committee, but I'm going to give a shout out to IDA President Derek Camp for introducing and pulling together one of the best teams I have ever seen to pull off such an amazing event. I'm telling you, those guys, it was flawless. Flawless. The speakers were great. They had presidential candidates. They had the Speaker of the House. You know, our congressman was in the House straight up the whole time. He was just in the building. And it was just so wonderful to see all those young people who were fired up for change and want to see something different happen in our nation. And listen, to all those people who are not young, but know young people who want to be involved, get them connected with IDA, Indiana Young Democrats. Yep. Get them connected. They have high school chapters all over the state. They have college chapters all over the state. And then they have county chapters. Listen, guys, young people are fired up and they are our future. Don't dismiss them. Don't dismiss them. Guide them. Listen to their ideas. Listen to what they're working with. Because I'm telling you, some of those cats are so smart. I just go, and I just listen because they have passion in their soul. So congratulations on that fundraiser or on that convention. I met people from, New Jersey off the hook. Oklahoma's off the hook. Oklahoma just elected their first black president for their statewide Young Democrats Association. I've heard from Milwaukee. I'm telling you, guys made an amazing impact on lives, and that's important. So congratulations. I also want to give a shout out and a big thank you. Thank you to Chasten Buttigieg and all of our sponsors and all of our donors who purchased tickets to the Stonewall fundraiser. We doubled our initial goal. We doubled. All of the proceeds that we raised are going to go to municipal candidates who are endorsed candidates, right? And so to have such a wonderful turnout and be able to double our fundraising goals in one night was amazing. Chasten Buttigieg had a great story. I know that there's a video on our Stonewall page. Check it out. He did an amazing job. He wasn't rushing to go to hear Pete. He stayed with us. He took pictures with us. The mayor came through. John Zodi, the chairman of the party, came through. It was just an amazing event. Shout out to all the Stonewall board members who rolled up their sleeves and did all the dirty work, baby. Because we wanted to make sure we brought you something fly. And we did. And thank you so much. So, how can you get some of that money? You need to go ahead and visit the Indiana Stonewall. It's instonewall.com website. Download the endorsement form. Fill that out. Email it back to us. There's an email address that's on there to tell you where to send it to. And deadline for all endorsements. Deadline for Stonewall endorsements. September 1st. So get them in before Labor Day weekend. Okay, we have a review process. And, we vet folk out because the bottom line is we want to make sure that we are helping to elect people who are looking out for the LGBTQ plus community, right? And they're all over the state. They're not just in Indianapolis. We're endorsing people from Evansville, and we got some people down in Johnson County and some people up in northern Indiana. So if you want to, get that endorsement and you want a little help, fill out that endorsement form. But we're also going to do more than just write checks. We're going to do some days of action. We're going to go out and knock doors for you. Make sure that we have that voter contact and help you out as much as we possibly can. So, if Stonewall is in the building and we trying to elect Democrats. So if you're down with what we're talking about, please, September 1st is the deadline, and we'll post it on our website. September 1st is our deadline for endorsement for 2019 municipal candidates. I want to make sure I'm very clear on that. We're only doing municipal candidates for 2019. 2024, hold your horses. We'll do some stuff next year. But 2019, that's where we are. All right. I got a rant. I got to get a little something in. While I was gone last week, Governor Holcomb kicked off his re-election bid. And I know that there's some people who are like, oh, yay, the silent one is running for office again. Because he ain't really said much about nothing. He hasn't, well, actually the entire Indiana GOP hasn't said anything about their president going after 4 women of color. Silent. That would also mean Jim Merritt, who is running to be the mayor of the city of Indianapolis, which has a 25% African-American population, has not said anything to condemn. At least I've been looking. I went on his page. Yep. I've been looking at his press conferences. He hasn't said anything to condemn the go back to where you came from comments. But he still wants to represent a city and be the mayor of a city that has 25% African-Americans. I'm not even sure what the Latino population is or the Asian population is. But yo, is that the kind of dude you want representing Indianapolis? Y'all better vote for Joe Hogsett. I'm not playing. I'm just saying you're going to have somebody in there that ain't looking out for you if you're not voting for the right people. All right. So, but anyway, Governor Holcomb kicked off his campaign. Now, he kicked his campaign off after he found out that our state house spent over $400 million less this year than what they budgeted for. Now, on the surface, that sounds like, yo, they know how to manage their money. They balance their books. They know what they doing. But I thought they were supposed to be working on teacher pay. I thought they were going to work on making sure that our public schools had the best teachers like some of the private schools and parochial schools. We already learned that there was a scam with the virtual schools where they stole money by saying and keeping students who actually died, a student who actually died on their payroll. Yeah, I said payroll. I called it like that. So the virtual schools already stole money from us. We spent $400 million less, and what they want to do is spend that money on pet projects. See, they want to spend money on fixing a pig barn at the state fairgrounds. But teachers get nothing. There's no conversation of it. And I've been reading some articles where teachers have been going to his campaign stops, and he is not addressing at all the need and the desire to pay our teachers properly. That's just one thing that we need to take care of. But it's so huge because we're talking about the past, present, and the future. If we are not educating our kids like we're supposed to, how are we going to move Indiana forward and make sure that we're competitive with other states when we're trying to get businesses? You know, we don't want to be a warehouse state full of low-income employees. That's all they command and demand. We want the best. We have some of the best colleges and universities in our state. But we're not prepping young folk for that. You know, we have some of the strongest unions in our state. And we need to be supporting them as they put together their apprenticeship programs. Because I'm sorry, I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. And we still need those things. There's nothing wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, but we ought to have those resources available. I don't understand why we are not taking care of our young folks from pre-K all the way up to post-secondary. Why aren't we giving them the help that they need with some of that money? But the pigs need it. The pig barn at the state fairgrounds needs it. You know, they need some of that money. I don't know how that sets with y'all, but that does not set well with me. That's one of those pet peeves that I have where, yo, how is it that you care more about pigs than you do about young people? Well, but I guess if the GOP is in line, the Indiana GOP is in line with the rest of the nation's GOP, they just put us all in cages. Put the babies in cages, separate them from their mamas and their daddies, not give them toothpaste, soap, or water, tell them to drink the water out of the toilet. I hope that's not the Indiana GOP. Y'all got a supermajority in our state house. Democrats don't even have to show up and y'all can pass bills. Hopefully one of those bills won't be to put our young people in cages. But that's actually what you're doing, metaphorically. When you're not giving them the proper tools to use their mind and expand their brain and give them the opportunity to see outside of themselves because you don't want to pay the people who are going to teach them. You don't want to pay teachers what they deserve. You don't want to pay them. we're essentially based on, inflation. We're paying teachers at 1999, 2000 rates. We are 16% below what we should be paying our teachers.
Powerful correlation there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with smart people. You gonna make me smarter just through osmosis.
Look, you said it. It's your juice. But it's so correct. It's so accurate. When you draw that correlation between what's going on at the border and what's going on in the state of Indiana with teacher pay being, kicked down the can kicked down the road. So yeah, good point there.
Well, you heard the voice. He's smooth. I might as well go ahead on and introduce my brother. First of all, he's the newest member of our Indianapolis City County Council. He is on the ballot in 2019 to win District 13 again. Y'all welcome to Turn Left, my very special guest. This is the first time we're going to get a real sit-down, hour-long conversation. Keith Graves, sir, thank you. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me here.
The pleasure is
mine. Thank you for this energy that you're giving me. I'm not giving you energy. You're giving this whole room energy, so thank you so much.
And that's what we need, man.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
with those young folks all weekend.
Oh my gosh. Youngs get it done.
Young gets it done, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my. And then look, wait a minute, real quick. The Indiana GOP had the audacity to co-opt Young Gets It Done by saying yes. Young gets it done. Todd Young gets it done.
Oh my gosh.
And Todd Young ain't said nothing about that president.
No. So yeah, thumbs down to what's going on in the governor's office. And thank you, Dana Black, for having me on your show.
My pleasure.
Such a long time coming, and I'm glad to be here. We've had several interactions and several conversations.
Yeah.
And the day is finally here. So I'm happy for this opportunity to share with your listeners in our city and all your listeners around the world who I am.
Around the world. I don't know if we
global, baby.
I don't know if we worldwide, dog.
This is global.
I don't know if we worldwide yet.
So yeah,
we gonna work on it though. We gonna work on it. You never know.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, with that YouTube, anything's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you know what? Let's just dive into it, brother.
Yeah.
Tell the people who you are and where you come from.
Okay, so my name is Keith Graves. I am the City County Councilor for District 13. District 13, wonderful East Side Indianapolis community. Borders are Emerson on the west and Post Road on the east. 56 roughly on the north. We missed a little bit of that Fort Bend area.
Okay.
And then 21st roughly on the south.
Okay.
So great, East Side community, and we do touch into that far East Side, which we're very proud of. So happy to be, chosen and elected by our community as the leader of our district. These are my neighbors. They voted for me, and I'm very proud of that opportunity, and I do not take that lightly.
Excellent.
So I'm really proud to be in this position. Dan, I tell you, I feel that I'm uniquely prepared to succeed and do well in this community.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, talk about it.
Absolutely. So,
where you come from?
I'm from here, that community.
Okay.
So I grew up in 46218, went to high school, junior high. I graduated from 103, which is in 46235.
Okay.
So I'm East Side and Far East Side all day, and I love it. God blessed me to make it through some of the challenges that they threw at us in my youth.
Yeah.
And so I was able to maneuver through Indianapolis Public Schools and Broad Ripple High School, where I graduated.
Okay.
Found myself getting tapped on the shoulder to attend Indiana University, and I was all too happy.
Okay.
So I moved through there at a little slower rate than most, but I got through.
You were on your timeline, not somebody else's timeline.
When I got that degree, it was made me even more proud. So so I graduated from Indiana University and spent about 13 years of my life in the United States Army Reserves. So
a veteran.
Yeah. So I was able to learn a lot, discipline, a lot of things that I might have missed growing up. My mom was a single mom. She worked second shift.
Wow.
So we were at home a lot, latchkey and all that
of
comes with that, you know. So God blessed me with that route, and picked up some important life lessons. I after that I'm here in the city, and I worked about 8 years in city government.
Okay.
So I played a couple of roles, pretty much in the criminal justice arena.
Okay.
So that's something that I have.
Interesting, because see, I'm listening to your life story.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the fact that your mom's was doing what she had to do to make sure you had a roof over your head, which meant sometimes she wasn't home with you. Yeah. There could have been opportunities for the not so great elements of our community to get a hold of you, but that didn't happen. And because that didn't happen, right? Or maybe it did, and it wasn't your stick. Hey, listen, I did some old, foul stuff as a young person, trying to find my blackness in the wrong places, right? But luckily for me, I didn't let it didn't hinder me, and I woke up before I did something real stupid. But here you were, could have been there, but you ended up working in law enforcement and going into the military.
Yeah, I tell you, it wasn't because I was making all the right moves and doing all the right things.
Right.
It was just the things I learned through life and my walk with God. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm able to sit here across from you today. Because I had friends and we did some things and we weren't so proud, and they continued on in their journey. Right. Went going down a different path than I chose. So I'm just proud that God said, "Hey, we want you to go this way. Make a right turn right here." And I did. Okay. Make a left turn right here, and I did. And I'm actually right here on the left. So
that's a turn left, baby.
Turn left, baby.
That's what's up. So so what made you decide to go into the military, man? That's tough stuff right there.
So I was a college student, and in high school I did take ROTC. My mom said, "Do me one favor, Keith." She said, "Just." In high school, as you're selecting your classes, do me one favor, take ROTC.
Okay.
That was probably the wisest thing that I could have listened to her and done.
Okay.
So
wise mother.
It did. Yeah, she was wise, and I want to say thank you, Mom.
All right. Hey, shout out to Mom.
Shout out to Mom.
That's what's up.
Baby B. So I took her charge and actually jumped in the ROTC. And at that point, kind of learned order, discipline, respect, some of those things that you may or may not get in your home. So it filled in the gap. I was an athlete as well in high school. So
what sports?
It was primarily track and cross country.
Okay.
I got a couple of glory days.
We
all about somewhere.
Hey, I was shot putting this, baby. So I got
track and field is my thing. So we can talk about that all day. Yeah. So
now I want to ask you what year you came out. But
So speaking of. But yeah, that kind of prepped me for military life. As I started to struggle through college, I looked at other options in the middle of that college life, and the ROTC, Army Reserves was a good option. Okay, they had some student loan repayments. They had some other benefits that I thought would be helpful to me personally. So I jumped right on it, and I'm really blessed that I did. I got a lot out of it. And then I came back home, worked in criminal courts as a criminal investigator for Marion County Public Defender's Office. And did some work within the Marion County Justice Agency back then, Dana, that really was created what's the pretrial release program, which helped at that time, it was a long time ago, helped ease the overcrowding in the jail. It was a solution for the overcrowding in the jail. The county was getting a lot of lawsuits for bumping up against those limits. Right. So I was proud to be a part of that, working with all members on the criminal justice side.
Was it youth or just anybody in general?
You mean
when you were doing investigating?
So it was anybody in general. So we had a separate division for juvenile. But I was criminal court, so we're talking all the major felonies that would be there. And what the criminal defense investigator typically would do is they would help create and build and verify defense strategies. So we would go and find that person who saw that this person didn't do what they are charged with doing. So we would do that homework. We would have connections to the community, and we would knock on doors, and we serve subpoenas when there were, there's that little stipulation in the neighborhood. Don't say nothing.
Right.
Snitch, whatever.
Snitches get stitches, whatever.
So I don't know if I believe in all that, because sometimes you can actually help your people.
Absolutely.
And more importantly is helping the community. So I hope that everybody understands that there's an important role that we all as citizens play. We're the long arm. We're that extension of law enforcement. So I really would hope that people, if you really want your community to improve, see something, say something.
Right. And listen, we're not oblivious, right, to the atrocities that happen at the hand of law enforcement. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that we're ignoring those things. Yeah. But what we are saying is that, in order for our justice system to work for us, we have to be involved in the justice system. Yeah. We have to understand how the justice system works.
Yeah.
How can you navigate and try to, improve something if you don't know how it works?
Absolutely. And, one of the things you mentioned there about some of the things that we know that have happened where law enforcement got out of hand in our community, typically targeting our community
specifically,
our youth, our black men. I'm absolutely sickened by the things that I see. I'm saddened by it. And one of the things that I'm committed to my district, District 13, is to begin to bridge that divide that exists between law enforcement and our communities. That's a decades-old division that has to
centuries old.
Yeah. Well,
real talk.
It's decades as police officer.
Right,
Prior to that, it was something else with a different hat.
Ain't that it?
So we ain't going there. But I can tell you that that's a commitment of mine, and I've been able to get up close and personal with law enforcement leaders in our city, Sheriff's Department, IMPD.
Good.
And they've given me the commitment that, hey, they'll be out in our community.
Not over-policing.
Ready to communicate, ready
right.
to be a part of our community and do the job that they're there to do. So that's a commitment of mine. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, my community, 46218, we actually had a big event at Washington Park.
Yep.
And so that was not the one you and I were.
Yeah.
So 46218 is people who past, present, have lived in 46218 zip code. We love each other. We love
y'all
our
can
community.
bring that real Dust Bowl back.
Yeah,
with
we're working on it.
Okay.
So when we brought that out, we actually had representatives from fire department. We had police department there. We had the mayor there. We had Dr. Virginia Kane. So we were very proud of the showing that was there. So
excellent. Because all of our communities matter.
Absolutely.
Every one of them. And I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to steal no languages, but especially when it comes down to funding and how our city budget is divvied up.
Yeah.
If we're not looking at every community, right, then some communities ain't gonna get the money they need.
Yeah.
And so when I wasn't trying to hijack nothing, but I wanted to make sure that if the mayor and the leadership of our public safety is visiting Washington Park at those events, that's significant and it's huge.
Absolutely, yeah. So we were very happy and proud that they were able to find the time and show the commitment to our community. I did have to make some phone calls and say, hey, we absolutely need you there.
That's your job.
And it happened. So I'm very proud of that.
Good.
But yeah, I did about 8 years city government. Then, God blessed me with a different idea, because at that time I wanted to go to law school. He said, you know what, son, I got something different for you. And so I became a fan of the stock market. And I got interested in it, and I found out that a major organization, major company, corporation had roots in Indianapolis. So I went pretty hard and heavy to get over there as one of their newest stockbrokers.
Wow.
So I became a licensed broker back about 20 years ago. And I've been continuously licensed as a not only a broker, but also a leader in our industry, which just takes different licenses to do all those things. But blessed to have spent about the last 20 years of my life as a financial services professional.
Okay. Now, let's speak to that, because I think sometimes people don't realize, and you're a soft-spoken dude, that's why I keep moving the mic closer to you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's we don't know how money works a lot of times in our neighborhoods, right? We all we know is, let me get this paycheck, pay these bills, whew, I'm good to go. Talk about what that financial training has done for you, and how you will, how you can approach, representing your district with that financial training.
Yeah. That's another one of my commitments to my community is the revitalization of our family unit, which would include financial literacy. And I tell you, I'm actually probably halfway through creating a book that has about 12 tips on personal financial management. And I think it's unique and ideal because it's not written by some Harvard economist. It's written by Keith Graves from 46218.
You're published. Gone, bro.
So I'm not quite published, but I'm about 50% away.
Okay.
I've gotten it all pretty much done. And in fact, we're just in fact-checking portion of the writing. So I'm very happy it kind of connects, our type of attitude in this book. So the language will be familiar to African Americans.
Okay.
So I'm very proud to provide that book. But nevertheless, I've spent a lot of time in seminars educating individuals on personal financial matters, but primarily investment related
type things.
Yeah. So you can't overstate the importance of, getting a budget, saving, living within your means, maximizing the opportunities that are available to you, creating additional income streams, proper insurance for transferring risk over somewhere to someone else, proper insurance to leave a legacy with your family. You can't overstate the importance of properly using credit. You can't overstate the importance of the impact that debt has and the role that it can play positively with you, and staying on top of your taxes.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Some of the important things that I want to make sure that people in my community have a clearer understanding as we continue to build our relationship.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, I think you're the first financial stockbroker that I've actually had on the show that's actually running for office. We've had some amazing, talent from a Dem side, and if I've missed somebody, I apologize. But I think it's so important that we understand how the system works. Yeah. I am definitely not a financial guru, honey. I'm an IT chick.
Any questions ever asked?
Right. I'm an IT chick, honey. I can fix computers and put networks together. Right. But I think it is so important, especially when we talk about gentrification, and holding on, because our homes are our legacy. Yeah. That's how you build wealth. It's through property. Absolutely. That's why they was redlining the heck out of us, right? That's why they knew. So here you have a representative, y'all, someone who gets it, and is going to be looking out for your community from a financial standpoint. I got to bring in. I went to a statewide municipal training for municipal offices, and I work for the surveyor. And it was talking about how to get grant money for your communities, and how that grant money and how to tap into those resources that the city and the state provides to communities. And unfortunately, there were like only 4 people of color from the entire state at this conference. And it's like, how are we supposed to know how to get this information when we're not there? We're not learning. We're not. I don't know if we don't know about them, and that could very well be the case, because they hide.
There's some selective marketing going on there.
Yeah, man.
So I can tell you that I've been blessed to have a great team around me that's ramping my education up to some of those intricacies, because everyone that I encounter, you and everyone I encountered throughout this entire journey, starting 10 months ago, I want them to know that I want my district, my community, the people who I live around and go to school with, work with, play with, shop with, I want them to be in a net positive position when I walk away from this. So that's my only goal. My only goal is to leave
net
the situation.
Positive. You already using the language. Y'all better find out what net positive means.
So I want in every way, shape, or form, I want to be a positive impact on our community.
And that's what we need. That's what we need. So let's switch gears a little bit, because that's an amazing background. You got a military background, a financial background. You got a little hood background. Just a little bit. We got to have all of it.
Just a whole bunch of decades.
Yeah. So running for office is not easy, right? And we often as candidates, we start off, our mission is one thing because something ticked us off. Riffer was my thing. I'm mad, I'm a lesbian, how dare you? But by the time I go knock on doors in my district, that they weren't nearly as upset about that as I was. Yes, there was some concern, but they had other things that they were concerned about. When you started your campaign, where were you? And then after interacting with your community, what have you learned from them, and how has that shaped your messaging with your campaign?
Right, so great question. I just saw a pop-up on Facebook that came from 10 years ago, Dana, when I was hosting a call campaign in my home for Barack Obama's campaign.
Okay.
So that was a reminder of how long I've been in this,
Oh, okay, yeah. So, well, you said you got your stockbroker thing 20 years ago.
But working in and around politics has been something I've done for quite a while.
Okay.
Going back really to a few national races ago, but really. I lived in Center Township for a long time. I grew up and went to Broad High School there as well. So, I did some East Side living as a young, like I said, junior high school. But high school, I lived in the Center Township. At that time, I had my eyes on a role that I knew this is what I want. But the way things work, my spirituality, it led me to the East Side. I found a home that I loved, was able to renovate it and get it the way I wanted. And then
because you had that financial mind, you know how to save that money.
Right. Well, I looked at the political landscape in my community, and there was a lot of political activists that were making a lot of noise, that were saying this and that, and it got me energized about trying to find a change for the Far East Side, my area. So I began to explore the opportunities that were available to me. And so, just as I said, I thought I had my eyes on a role in Center Township. God had a bigger role for me on the Far East Side. So I'm very happy and blessed that I did make the decision to make the purchase in that community. I did move there, and I did get involved. So, but you're right, that initial enragement, that initial enthusiasm, whatever drives you, and I was told this a long time ago, it may be totally different when you get in that role. So just kind of similar to your experience. But nevertheless, if you know that there are some inefficiencies, some areas of weaknesses, or that your community could use to be bettered, then you can direct that energy in a new way, in a new direction, and still get some positive results for your community. So, and that's exactly what I did. But here's the thing. When you said you were, on one thing, RIFRA drove you, and then the community was my thing was, this is what we need based on listening, based on the community activists. Community activists are from all over the city, right? And that's great, and I love them because they play such an important role.
Yes, I tell people all the time, we need people to bullhorns,
absolutely,
baby.
You need them. So, but I listen to my constituents, people in my community, and I got a clearer understanding of what they wanted and what they need. Like you, I got a clearer understanding of what was important to them. So what I walked away with is, 3 commitments that were important to them, and they became important to me. Because they are my neighbors.
That's what they asking for,
it impacts me too. So those 3 items, and I'll get into detail. Is community revitalization. We want to focus on criminal justice. And then we want to make sure that we have what I want to call community care. So I'll get into each. Community revitalization, Dana, is typical revitalization. It's a word. I'm talking about family revitalization, business revitalization, making ourselves and our community an attractive destination for businesses. To come and plant. Of course, the revitalization of our roads and our streets and our blight and our plight, ugly looking areas, wooded lots that need to be cleaned up, holding those out-of-state homeowners accountable.
You better correct. You better say it, because some of those out-of-state homeowners are on one.
Absolutely, on one. And our commercial real estate out-of-state guys need to come and get their stuff right
together too.
So those are some of the things that my community indicated that were important to them in that community revitalization portion. And that family piece in the community revitalization is important, Dana, because we're in what I recently learned is the desert of all. We're not a food desert. We're in a gym health desert. We're in a child care desert. We're in a health facility desert. We just have a lot of things that we need in our community. And I'm not going to sit idly by and let yet another budget year come through and we not get some recognition on the Far East Side. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's my time. I've been elected to serve. Again, it's not something that I take lightly, this opportunity. There's just enough attack in me from my 13 years in the military and my decades in Indianapolis inner city that I feel very competent and very skilled at communicating with those that sit on the council with me as my peers and our executive leadership over in the mayor's office. So I'm looking forward to partnering with them. I think that this particular recent period. By the way, I was sworn in June 13th, and
did for my birthday. Hey,
I'm a June kid too.
Oh, what's your birthday?
June 27th.
Okay, yeah, but you're a Cancer. You know, we ain't gonna talk about that. Ain't gonna talk about that.
We scales.
Scales. Hey, you need. I'm a Gemini. You got to put one of them Geminis.
Yeah, Gemini. Okay.
Balances the whole world out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and in July 15th, I had the fortunate opportunity to sit in the seat as a city county council
for the first time.
First time, and I was, we're not talking about, turning Central into a two-way from a one-way. We're talking about some important, heavy items.
Okay.
And I'm blessed and I'm honored to be in that position
to have those discussions.
So, I learned a lot through preparation for that day, and I want to continue to serve the people, on the Far East Side where I live. But yeah, my commitments again are the criminal justice piece. That's important as I listen to those members of my community, and within that, we want to create a better sense of community. And some of the things that I want to accomplish will absolutely do that, because we know that when we create that sense of community, we're going to create a sense of security.
Right.
So we're all going to say, well, that's not some bad young man. That's Jane's son,
Right,
so
right.
we know each other, and we because we've got better greenways and pathways. I don't think we tap into any of these beautiful walkways and bicycle paths that the city is well known for. So I'm really slightly frustrated in all that. So we want some of those beautification.
Yeah, because black people like to be outside too.
I mean,
and
really,
minority communities and people who are financially distressed, they like to be outside too.
Yeah, absolutely. So
sometimes that's the cheapest fun you can have is go on a picnic.
That's it. Yeah, that's why frisbees are so cheap. $2 and you got 2 hours worth of fun.
Okay, come on.
So that criminal justice piece, but. The other thing is I want to focus on those stressors that drive people into a lower economic situation.
Okay.
The stressors that drive people into poverty, because we know that focusing on those things, focusing on jobs, focusing on home ownership, focusing on those things that will reverse those trends is crime prevention.
Right.
So we focus on those things, and we actually started seeing a lift in our crime. So let's do it. Let's do it in that criminal justice piece, and then on that community care.
That one's got me intrigued. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
that.
You know why that's important to me? Because in the continuum of community care component of my platform, Dana, it touches every single person in my district, because everybody doesn't have issues with community revitalization. Maybe their 2 or 3 blocks looks great,
right,
because we do have a pretty wide variety of situations in the district.
Absolutely.
Maybe there's not a lot of crime in their area of my district, but there still could be seniors that need someone to wrap their arms around them, making sure that there's not a divide because of this technology onslaught that has come into our society, making sure that if they are live far away from their loved ones, that there's a community out here that wants to make sure that they're well taken care of and they're able to age peacefully in their homes. But not just them. I'm talking about the youngest members in our community.
Okay.
Those that need daycare, proper daycare, summertime meals. If you're a 42-year-old man and you lose your job on April 1st, I want to make sure you know where to go on April 2nd to get a new job.
Right.
Or get new
Talk
job training.
Talk about it.
So that continuum of community care really reaches out and touches everyone in our community, regardless of the need, regardless of the race, regardless of the situation. If you have a need, I want to be the connector. I want to be the first call. I've already received dozens and dozens of calls. And again, I've only been in the seat about a month and a half.
Right.
But proudly so, because I've created relationships with those that are in a position to help my community.
Okay.
So whether it's trustee's office or others, I'm absolutely capable building out a personal network, spreadsheet style, that will help.
Because you're a money man,
I don't want to sound like I'm Warren Buffett over here.
Aside though, sound like you Warren Buffett.
God's been good, so yeah. But yeah, I want to make sure that those that have a need can get that need,
met,
resolved.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Interesting that you talk about that. I had a great conversation today with a young lady named Anna Murray who ran for office down in Southern Indiana. And, one of the things I hear often as deputy chair for engagement is how we message and package up who we are as Democrats. And her key word for how we address what we do as Democrats is compassion. You triggered that thought because you said, we got to take care of our seniors, make sure that they know they can who they can reach out to for help, take care of our young people, because all of that is about compassion.
I love it.
You got to have compassion for your neighbors, people you don't even know. You don't even know,
I don't know Anna Marie, but we are thinking along
Anna
the same
Murray,
line.
Anna Murray,
Because just within the last week, I told several people, whoever was listening to me that day, because I talk so much, people hey, you coming over here talking. But I said, you know what the missing component is? The missing component is care. And it's similar to what she's thinking.
Because that's who we are as Democrats. We care about the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the theme of the YDA convention. Or, well, I'm going to say my speech at the YDA convention was, how do we as Democrats take care of the citizenry? And Anna Murray came back with compassion, and you came with community care today.
Yes.
I'm feeling that because I think if we start to see each other, right? You got to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes to kind of get a feel. We get so caught up in our own space. We all, we heads down with our phones. I'm terrible. I got two of them, right? But we, in order for us to really make change, you have to understand who you changing or who you changing it for.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I do feel uniquely prepared to be in this role because I have walked in those shoes. I've walked in several shoes. We had a challenging upbringing. And
your mama proud now though.
I'm sure she is. She's been indicating so much pride. I was like, Mom, I was okay in high school. So she's so proud now.
She looking at you side eye. Look here.
Right. I saw you in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do have familiarity, personal familiarity. And again, this city, I've lived on all sides of towns. When I say challenging upbringing, I think we counted, I moved about 17 times by the time I was 17 years old. And for example, we just had an important proposal that came through the council, proposal 258. It discussed a solution to the food crisis that's existing in our city, and it's just a temporary solution. But many were opposing that proposal.
That was a big deal, man.
It was a big deal, and it was a great way to say this is not simple work. What I'm doing, this is very serious work. But I had personal experience where at periods of time in my youth, we didn't have a car in the house, so we didn't have a grocery store close to us, so we had to get away to the grocery store. So I know those people that will be impacted, and I did find, as I knocked on doors to do my own surveys, my own homework on Proposal 258, I did encounter a young man and his family who were walking to the grocery store, which is now closed Walmart. So I do know how that is, and it is not easy when you wake up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning and your kid wants a bowl of cereal. So what do? The next grocery store is 2 miles away. Oh, by the way, it's 90 degrees. Oh, by the way, it's raining. Oh, by the way, it's 0 degrees. So we provided a temporary solution.
Sometimes you may not even have a sidewalk.
Absolutely. It's no sidewalk. Come on. So we provided a temporary solution that I'm very proud to have supported. There were some amendments, so we were able to get some language in there that's going to be...
you wait. Yeah. Did you just tell me you offered up some amendments?
I didn't. I mean, it was by a counselor.
All right, that's being assertive, man.
Absolutely.
That's just you can't assume the role and sit back and placate and say I'm just gonna do whatever. No, you got to get in there. You got to get in the fight.
My community needs me.
Yeah.
My community needs me. They asked me to step up and do this role by vote, and I'm not going to take that role, that leadership opportunity lightly. Again, I'm blessed and proud to be where I am. But yeah, I have a lot of personal experiences that have really put me in a position to take on this role. And as I sit here, I do have a lot of learning to do.
Sure.
There's so much. I'm
God.
a deer in the headlights so often.
And you came in right in budget season.
Man, right here, and we're the next opportunity. The next is August 12th, and it's gonna be on and popping there, and then committee breakouts, and it's just gonna be a lot of budget talk. So I've been like I said, I've been blessed to get some detailed knowledge. But I think it's really going to be one of those things that my passion is going to drive me, but my knowledge is going to lag, but eventually it's going to get there. But with that passion being so high, I'm not going to miss opportunities to take care of my community.
That's what's up.
I'm going to knock on doors and ask questions. That's what I've always done. I didn't make it through the situations that I made it through in life by just waiting on something to fall in my lap. And I'm not going to ask my community to let us just wait until something falls in our lap. No, we're going to go get it. And I'm going to lead that charge.
So you've been praising God since you've been here. So what church you go to?
So I go to Eastern Star. I've been in the Eastern Star family for many, many, many years. So I primarily returned to the main campus, but was part of the other Eastern Star breakout churches.
Ashley, I know my girl Ashley's over there. So one of the things that I'm also passionate about is that we talk about a black agenda. There's often what's the black agenda? I know the presidential candidates have all been hit over the head about a black agenda, and one of the things that I've been working, or I've tried to put as much energy in as I possibly can, is bridging that conversation with our black clergy and our black faithful people with our black LGBTQ plus folk. Because I don't think you can have a real black agenda if two parts of our community aren't even talking to each other. And I'm telling you, when I say that I'm talking, Pastor Green has opened his arms to a conversation. Elder Rush, I fell in love with him at your event. Oh my God. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? That I don't think we have to agree philosophically on faith, right? Though everybody's walk with faith is their own walk. But as black people, we experience a lot of the same trauma and drama together, regardless if you gay, straight, or of faith.
Yeah, because they see you on sight and you are not any of those things. They haven't
put that label on you yet, other than because literally I tell people all the time they don't even know if I'm a man or a woman, but they know I'm black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about what a black agenda could look like with Indianapolis if we all just kind of just. I know that there's you have a mixed constituency. But I do want to talk about you. You talk about your community with such conviction.
Yeah.
As a black man, what are you seeing that you want to directly impact to talk about a black agenda?
So, to be quite honest, I think about that specifically quite often. And my agenda for District 13 is a black agenda. Because we are largely African American. We do have a variety of racial makeup, but I am very proud to be in a largely black African American community. But I look at our division in our community, as you mentioned, similar to how I look at the division on the national scale, black and white. Once we realize that we're going to be stronger when we come together, black and white, then when we get gay, straight, and all those other entities, when we figure out that we're going to be stronger together, then we're going to make it happen, and then the world is going to be a much better place. But until then, I just don't understand how people don't see it and stay so strongly in their positions. They don't want to come to the middle. But you know what? I question the source of their their thinking, and I'm curious, because there's so many different stories or what have you. But I tell you what, I give that a lot of thought. Particularly on that national level. We continue to be black, white, and again, I was in the military for 13 years, and you really looked at this next person who's next to you in this foxhole really as someone who's going to save your life. And if we get to that same thinking.
So we all need to think we in the foxhole.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it. We in the foxhole.
Absolutely. So, but you mentioned what church I go to, and I do love Pastor Johnson. He has absolutely been a great leader in my life for about 20 plus years, but I will be really doing a disservice if I didn't give a special shout out to my my personal leader and spiritual guide, and that's Dr. Clyde Posley. So I just want to give him a quick shout
absolutely,
out.
because you know what, nobody does anything by themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, when you think about the work that you put in and how you've gotten where you are, you're not walking by yourself.
No.
You know, I have to thank all the women that raised me at Beulah Baptist Church when I was a young person, because I was getting, beat down regularly in school, but I would go to church and these women would embrace me and lift me up and try to cultivate leadership in me. Or when I wanted to have a radio show, Harold Bell was like, come sit on my platform. That's why his logo will always remain on what I do, because we don't have turn left if not for Harold Bell saying, come on, dude. Nobody does anything by themselves. And the fact that you are acknowledging your spiritual leader, I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Because, as I began this journey, I got curious to know how this thing would unfold, because again, I had my own personal agenda, but it's not about me. And one of the earlier lessons that he talked about is, if they see that God in you before they see you, lead with that, and then this road is going to be His road. So
that's what's up.
I'm trying to just be less of me and more of God, and those are some of the things that I'm
less of me and more God.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm proud to be under His leadership and His tutelage. So I feel like I'm in good hands. I'll continue to sit at His feet and learn, and really have that important fiber, that moral fiber run through me, that as I continue to interact with people.
Moral fiber.
Interact with people, interact with, communicate. Some of the things I say, I'm like, how did I say that? That ain't me.
And me,
this guy.
when I give a speech, man, I don't even know how it happens. Something else just take over. But I wanted to speak to that because my ex-wife, she was just a brilliant mind. Would guide me. She was older than me, so she would, instill her 18 years of experience ahead of me. And she used to always tell me to check my ego. Because, I've always had one.
Right.
But when you're doing something for a greater good, you got to check your ego. And she used the word ego, and she said ego means edging God out.
Wow. That's it.
Edging God out. So you talking about walking in your faith and doing your thing, you check, and you said it wasn't about you. You've already checked your ego, because you ain't trying to edge God out. I'm feeling that, bro. You know me. I go there. All right. So Keith, look, you're on the ballot again, though. You're in there now, but you got to win that re-election. We got to hold on to our city, county council seats. So tell the people how they can find you, how they can donate to your campaign, how they can volunteer for you.
So I'm going to talk about that. But first, I just want to say, Dana, you have been, like, when I began this journey, it was really important that I get to know people and embrace people and see how they would react to me. And you have been amazing. So thank you.
I try to walk in my own truth.
Thank you.
Because remember, when we first met,
I want to make sure the world knows there's some asterisks out here. You personally have really made me feel that I am accepted in this leadership role.
Yeah.
And I feel that your endorsement to me personally, you letting me come on your show, says a lot.
Well, here was the deal. When we first met, it was at a different time, and I told you where I was honest with you. I'm always going to be honest with you. But then when that didn't pan out, what did I tell you? I elect Democrats.
Yep, you got me.
That's what I want to do. I want to elect Democrats. Yeah. And if you are in this for the right reason, and that's for the people that you will serve, you got me.
Thank you.
It's easy because I'm only one person.
Very, very
oh my God, I can't. People ask me all the time, when you gonna run for office again? That's one seat. But what if I can help 20 other people get elected?
Absolutely. You know what your calling is. You know where you are today.
I stay in my lane.
If that
baby.
changes, that's awesome. But right now, you know what you are.
I want to get Keith Graves reelected.
And Keith Graves wants to make that happen as well. So to reach me, I can be reached for communication. 317-560-4554. I will respond. Please be patient. My email address, keith@keithlgraves.com. That's KEITH. And to donate, we absolutely need donations because we do have a Republican opponent, and we need to make sure that the community knows that those that have not had an opportunity to meet with me throughout the several events that I've created for our community, I've sponsored or co-sponsored in our community, I need to make sure that the word is out there. So to help be a contributor, it's electkeithgraves.com. www.electkeithgraves.com. So there's a donate button there. You can certainly click on it, and whatever is in your heart will be welcome, and I certainly thank you.
And you also need volunteers. You need volunteers.
Absolutely. Please go to that same link is electkeithgraves.com. Click on volunteer. And we're actually about to begin our senior living facility engagement for the summer, something that we're very passionate about. And we will also be doing door knocking. We'll also have sort of like office hours like in college, where you can sit in one of the establishments in the district and welcome people to come out and visit. We'll have call opportunities, so we'll have call banks. So please volunteer. Please sign up for volunteering. We love it. Our community loves it. It's really not about me. This is about moving forward to uplift our community.
Come on.
I am representing District 13, but I do work in partnership with 24 other members of the council. So we will better our city as we continue to move that needle forward.
And we sure as heck don't need a Republican in that district. No, I'm gonna reiterate that. He has an opponent.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Republican policies are not looking out for our communities.
Just look at the Jim Merritt office where they have Trump signs and a cutout of Trump. This is the same guy who just told some people of color to go back to what? How are you? In what environment is that acceptable?
Whatever, and then this is what you're embracing. But you again want to represent a city that is a very diverse city. But he's got you know what? He's got 30 years of crap he got to dig through. I'm still trying to figure, he was trying to ban gay marriage. He was trying to get rid of the IYG license plate. He didn't want a comprehensive hate crimes legislation. But he did all that while he was in the Senate, thinking that people in Indianapolis, over 800,000 of us, ain't paying attention to what he did. Well, if they're not, I did, and I'm loud. So it's not happening. No. Not, and I have a hashtag for him. It's called "Not on My Watch." No. So, but Keith, man, I loved your Stop the Violence event.
Yeah,
that's where Elder Rush and I got a chance to kind of kick it.
Yeah, very, very proud of that. It was about 200 people who were able to interact with us. A basketball tournament, 3 bouncy houses for the kids, and just a lot of activities going on. Stop the Violence, June 29th. Also did a mini football camp back in May 8th, the day after the primary. So we were able to, interact with about 40 young people where we wrap mentorship around football. So my goal, and I've done this for many years, many decades now through the St. John Youth Awareness Program that I was a part of, where we did the same thing around basketball. So is to really be a part of change and not just sit back and
talk about
Monday morning quarterbacking it. No, because it's real out here, and we got to get out here and roll our sleeves up and be a part of it. So if you got those experiences, those skills that can help, then you should probably look for opportunities.
Listen, we got to help our young men.
Absolutely.
Our youth, period. Because it's obvious that 12-year-old little boys are looked at as grown men, and we've got to prepare them for a world that may or may not love them the way.
Absolutely. And I do have something for the young ladies too. It is it is a modeling thing with the etiquette thing, and we're working those details out. So I'm so blessed to have this team around me that just loves what I want to do and what our community has
I want you
to
crisscross those now. I mean, because brothers need to learn some etiquette. And girls like the ball.
Absolutely. No. In fact, at all of my events, there have been both boys and girls.
Good. Thank you.
I'm very happy.
Thank you. Let them explore what their gender means to them.
My family, we're all male, female. We're athletes. So
that's what's up.
I love it.
Yeah, I thought I was an athlete.
I'm retired, by the way.
Man, look, I didn't have an athletic bone in my body. I was trying to be an athlete. Yo, you are amazing, and I love your story. I love that you got that financial piece, so that when that budget comes through, and be nice to the surveyor's budget because we worked really hard on it. You be nice to Deb Jenkins.
We'll take a close look. We'll put on our glasses and make sure that everything lines up.
We don't ask for that, but our footprint is small, baby, and we're flat. We're flat this year.
Awesome.
So, but no, I'm not joke. But I love the fact that you are a well-rounded individual. I love the fact that you are passionate about improving the lives of the people in your community, and that's why you want to represent them at the city county level. Everybody knows that all politics is local.
Absolutely.
It's you know, and if you have a real tangible understanding of what's going on in your community, you can only help them. Your world experience that you learn outside of your community, now you bring it back.
Absolutely.
And you make those improvements. And I'm excited about your tenure as councilman in our city county council.
Thank you for
I love
having
it.
me.
My pleasure, man.
Wow.
I'm actually sad that we ain't spent more time together, because I think, we can do some things together.
It starts now.
It
starts
does.
now.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep that spirit.
Thank you.
I'm still gonna find out what year you graduated. You ain't said nothing yet, but
it
I'm
was
going
yesterday.
to find out.
It was it. Yeah.
Yo, Indiana's own Dana Black. You know who I got coming on next week? City County Council President Bob Osley.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Come on, we bringing the bangers. We're bringing the bangers.
Yeah.
I've got a beautiful councilwoman that's a young lady that's running in Lawrence, Maria. And then if you see down my list, the first announced 2020 gubernatorial candidate, Dr. Woodrow Myers, Dr. Woodrow Woody Myers, is going to be on the show. I know that I'm typically focusing on the 2019 races, but he's already declared and he's already put the work in. So yes, I got a 2020 gubernatorial candidate coming on, turn left. It's already scheduled. So y'all make sure you check out the schedule. If you're interested in IDEA, make sure you get your tickets to that. We'll be down in French Lick. So that's a Thursday. I won't be there because the women get together. The women of the Democratic Party get together and we salute each other at the French Lick Winery. And it is usually an amazing event with all of the history and the knowledge of a positive, forward-thinking, progressive group of women at French Lick. So if you've not done the IDEA convention and you ain't on the ballot to see, go down, check it out. Check out some of the seminars, kick it with some of the caucuses, and we do have a good time. Because don't call it a party for nothing. They don't call it a party for nothing. All right, Indiana's own Dana Black, thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to click on the link to donate, or if you feel like you like the content we're bringing you, I could always use a little extra funds. Look, everybody asking for money. Yes, me too, but I don't get none if I don't ask. But closed mouths don't get fed. But if you like what we bring to the table, please consider, donating to Turn Left. There's a link there. We're always trying to bring you the content that matters, so you know who's on the ballot, who you should be considering, and why you should vote for them. All right, I'll check y'all out next week.